How you doing? I'm hoping that it's amazing, right? Tell you what, today I want to talk about something that's kind of a little different than some of the other things that I've talked about, and that is, uh, I want to talk about perception, or maybe even being a little judgmental. And it's interesting. Let me adjust this, just bring it down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see. I don't know, whatever, right? And when you cross my arms like this, you kind of think, maybe he's hiding something. That's kind of your perception, right? Or maybe it's the fact that, I'm sitting around and I'm a older person and I see younger people doing things and I'm thinking, are you freaking nuts? What is wrong with you? That has nothing to do with them, everything to do with me because I'm being judgmental. It's happened to me many, many times, and I work on it on a constant basis. Another example, I'm heading down the road. All of a sudden, some dude comes by or some chick flies by, and they go, like, pew, and I'm doing 70, and they're probably doing 80, 85. Like, I'm flying by me, and I'm thinking, man, I wish there was a cop up there to nail him. Yeah. Now, not only is that being judgmental or my perception of things, it's also being a little bit vindictive, right? And we need to stop that crap because, for all I know, maybe they just got a call that their mom or their husband or their wife was just in an accident and they're being taken to a hospital. Granted, you don't need to go that fast to get there because there's nothing you can do about it. And that's easy to say. When it happens to you, you want to get there as fast as you can. In fact, if you could be bewitched and twiddle your nose and boom, pop there, that's what you would do, right? Now, at the same time, I've had it against me. When I first met my wife and we were dating, my hair, keep in mind, this is like the 70s, my hair was below my shoulders and my beard, I don't know if you can see it. It was like I'll take it this way. It was down below what you can see, right? And I was looked upon as maybe I was a musician, so I'm into drugs and a bunch of other things that are not good. And you don't want your daughter dating one of these kind of people, right? And that's the way her dad felt. He didn't want her messing with me because of the way I looked and the way I acted. That was his perception, and he was being judgmental. Now, flip that around and move it back or move it ahead a few months, years, whatever. And I end up, her folks owned a bar, so I went back to the bar, only I started becoming a bartender so I could learn that. But before I went back there, for whatever reason, I cut my hair and I trimmed my beard down to where it's kind of like it is now. And, you know, started working with it. Well, the next thing I know, her dad is talking to her on the side. He's saying, man, I can't believe how much he has changed. And she looked at him and she's like, he hasn't changed at all. In fact, the only thing that's different is he cut his hair and trimmed his beard. That's the only thing. He's the same person that was here playing years ago. See, there's an example. Now, him and I are, he's like my father. He's like an adopted dad for me now. But back then, it was a little tough. But perceptions, it's kind of crazy on how we take them. Maybe it's, some raggedy guy comes into church and he's not, dressed appropriately in the minds of the people in church to be in church. Now, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of church? Shouldn't a church be open to everyone that wants to come in and worship? Now, a lot of people say, yeah, but when that happens to them, not so much all the time. So, it's one of those things that we tend to jump into with this perception or being judgmental. So, I just want you to think about, as you go along, maybe here's what I do. It's helped me on a lot of different times with different things. And that is, and it's helped me more with people driving than it is, because I don't have as much issues with it away from that. My problem is sometimes instead of responding to things, I react. And when I react, it's kind of like sometimes maybe vengeful. And I don't want to be that. So I try and fight against it. And so when I see people and they come flying by me, I think for a minute, and then I jump really quick, get it out of my head, and I go, just maybe something's happened in their life that's kind of bad and they're trying to get to it. Maybe somebody's in the hospital. Maybe their mom slipped and fell. All I'm asking is to think about it a little bit and look at it in a different way. I'm going to tell you what, I'll leave you with a joke. This way, maybe it'll hit home, maybe it won't. But it's a good little joke. Okay? So now, let me scoot back just a bit. Back here where you can see. Okay, so there's this little boy. He's in, I don't know, let's say he's in kindergarten. But he still gets to ride the bus because school's not that far away. And they get on a little bus, they go to school, and they come home. Well, when he gets home, a lot of times his mom's kind of busy because she's recently separated and she has a lot of things to do. But this particular time, the little boy comes home, gets inside, shuts the door, heads back to his bedroom, and he can kind of hear his mom talking, but he don't know who she's talking to or what she's doing or anything. But her bedroom door is kind of like cracked open just a little bit so he can see in there. And his mom, she's standing in front of a full-length mirror, and she doesn't have any clothes on. And her mom is going, I need a man. I need a man. And the little boy's like confused, like, what is she doing? Anyway, he sloughs it off, goes on into his room and starts playing. Well, the next day he comes home, the exact same thing. He comes in, mom's in the bedroom, no clothes on, in front of the mirror. What is she doing? I need a man. Oh, yeah, I need a man. Agreed, this is kind of sexist. Go with me, it's a joke. Anyway, again, he sloughs it off, goes into the bedroom. Next day, he comes home and he can hear mom, but she's not in the bedroom. She's in the kitchen. So he starts to go in the kitchen and he sees mom's in there with a guy. And the guy's kind of facing to the back and they're kissing. And the kid's like, it's almost like a light bulb goes off in his head and he gets it. Now, what he doesn't know is that guy was her husband and his dad. But he was from the back and he just didn't recognize him because of all the things that's been going on. So anyway, like I said, this light bulb goes off in his head and he goes on to bed, or back to his bedroom place. Next day he comes home and there's a little note from his mom saying, I'm over at Janie's, which is next door, and I'll be home in just a minute, but go ahead and just go back to your bedroom, play, it'll all be okay. So, it's like, remember the light bulb went off? So he's got things figured out. So what he does is he goes into his mom's room, gets in front of that full-length mirror, takes all of his clothes off, right? And he stands in front of that mirror, and he goes like this. I need a bicycle. I need a bicycle. perception. It's all about your perception. Have an amazing day.